What is up, rebel colonists and Mars citizens? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode we're diving back into Frozen Teardrop. This time we are starting Volume 11. Last time, Vaunt Kushanada and the Black Winged Zero went up against Catra and Snow White. They were able to find missing pieces to the Zex files. Once added, it creates the perfect Zex files. This time, Kathy dives into those files, and she learns of a colony drop that was never written about in the history books. This involved Elev, Zex, and Noin, who piloted Gundams to save the world and the colonies. So let's get into this. Kathy Poe is going to test the perfect Zex files first. Afterwards, it is to be handed over to Hiro and Relina. This file starts 2 years earlier than before. AC 186, Autumn, the L2 colony cluster. Colony V08744. Zex and Eligel. Is it Elv or Elev? Anyways, they're still cadets and are prisoners. Elev cracked and told the prisoners that Zex is Milliardo Peacecraft. They take him to their commander, Artemis Sidici. Artemis Sidici is the former Anti-Alliance Forces member and the commander of the Marius plant during their battle back in Volume 2 and 3. Kance is in the shadows working with Artemis. He is always playing the number 2 to someone else who is in charge. Kance thinks that they should seek counsel with Zex. He doesn't name himself in this moment. It isn't until AC 195, when they meet again, that he says to Zex, "Forgive my late introduction." So I went to investigate this. In the dub, Kance says, "Let me introduce myself."
Allow me to introduce myself.
But in original Japanese, he doesn't hajime mashite or yoroshiku. He says,
申し遅れました.
Okay, an informal way of saying, accept me into the conversation or group. It's the mo at the beginning of that sentence. Essentially, thanks for accepting me again. Or, more properly, let me reintroduce myself. One, why did the writers of Gundam Wing put that line in? What was it originally intended to be? But whatever it was, Sumizawa found this neat little Easter egg and added it here. Did the writer of Frozen Teardrop do something interesting and clever? Zex refuses to acknowledge that he is Milliardo and insists he is Zex. They are left to rot in prison. At that time, there was a colony flu outbreak. Zex assumes the space COVID will get him soon. A man with a prosthetic leg comes to his cell. His name is Ain Yui. Ain Yui was supposed to have died in AC 175 in April during the Hiro Yui speech. He calls him Milliardo and tells him to not cast aside the past. He lets him free and tells him El will soon be free as well. The colony control system is broken and it is cold. A lot of money came into the Maxwell Church, and its leader, Bill Maxwell, gave it all away. The money came from Eric Shergold, who gave away his fortune upon passing. This colony became lawless and anti-alliance groups formed. Ain wants Zex to do something for him. He asks if he wants to know the workings of the universe. They go to an abandoned school gymnasium. This has become a morgue. People come monthly to take the bodies, but it isn't enough. They move some bodies to find a hidden lair. Ain takes Zex underground to show him the Zero System. This was created by Thomas Current, who is now dead. This once went by the name Sam and served aboard the Sherwood. The supercomputer has the ability to shape the world. It only responds to the Peacecraft bloodline. Zex says the password Peacecraft X to Hiro Yui. Ain says that Zex must deliver the Zero System to his son, Trace Kushanada. The novel goes into a long-winded explanation about how the Zero System is similar to Pandora's box, in which it gives the illusion of hope, but mostly brings despair. Zex refuses to activate it, and says that mankind is not ready. He doesn't have to make a decision at this moment. Ain gives him a device that will activate Zero from anywhere. He says what would happen if you put this into a mobile suit. Ain says it would become the greatest weapon of all time. In German, the word for lonely is einsam. Ain and Sam, when combined, express their states of being. I get it, it's not that clever. AC 186, Winter. Zex and Elev are forced to watch the barge attack. They're wearing suicide suits, which explode if they do anything tricky. Trace and the Specials sent out a counteroffensive. Kance ends up getting defeated. He blames Zex for not activating the Zero System. The boy apologizes and takes on the blame. AC 187, Spring. Elev and Zex are doing labor for the rebels. They find a mining facility that the Alliance abandoned. In the mine, they find unrefined Gundanium armor. They are moved to a new base that is ran by J. Null, Double D, Sorcery, Henry Fia, and Wang Long. They begin working on mobile suits made with Gundanium armor. They will be forced to be test pilots for the rebels' new mobile suits. Elev tests what will eventually become Prometheus. Sorcery no longer cross-dresses, and no one really questions it. This becomes Dr. S, by the way, the one with the cocaine problem. Zex nor Elev know of the Gundanium armor. Zex pilots what will become El Konig, made by Double D. J. Null is trying to crack the password that needs a Peacecraft to do so. It has been 15 years since Jay locked the Perfect Peace program in Sam. He is going to have to get the help of Mardicus. Zex pilots El Koenig when he runs into the Alliance testing a new Leo. It is the Leo Type 5, the Nimia. I believe this is the closest to the standard Leo that we see at the beginning of Operation Meteor. This functions in space and ground. Double D tells him not to engage with the Alliance, but Zex ignores his orders. He doesn't have any weapons and can only use his fangs. This wasn't a problem at close range. The waves are calm. Then he sees a dog running on the Sank Kingdom beach. He then sees his father. This is an illusion. He tells him that life is brief, so don't waste it. That same day in AC-182, the Sank Kingdom fell. He takes down the Leo Type 5 and uses the comms to communicate to the pilot. It happens to be Noin. It has been 182 days since he has been captured. Wait a minute, it's AC-182 and he was prisoner for 182 days? The writer probably said, I'll change that number later, and then he never changed it. Or maybe it's the translator. Noin and Zex are reunited. This dramatic reunion is more hilarious by the fact that Zex is around 9 years old, I believe. Jay tells them that they are retreating from their base at Sinus Iridium, and they are to head to the L2 colonies. Zex gives the device to Noin and tells her to give it to Trace. She refuses to be his messenger. She also doesn't want to leave him again. Also, they're just children who haven't hit puberty yet. The person who carpet-bombed Sinus Iridium is Warrant Officer Cordelia Fitzgerald. She would later meet Trace, who romanticizes her name due to a weird obsession with Anna Green Gables. After that meeting, she went by Lady Un. AC-187, April 7th. At the medical center is Lo and his son, who just goes by Junior now. He has been sick and might have the colony flu. They both need the vaccine. He doesn't want to pretend to be Odin's father, but he says that he will train him in exchange for pretending to be his son. The doctor's name that is helping him is Kathy Poe. Odin seems to know her, and she knows his career choices. She tells Kathy of Aoi's death on the barge. Odin wants Kathy to watch little Hiro while he does his next mission. Hunter Kushinada is also in the hospital. Vaughnt's dad and Trace's stepdad, who will eventually carry a new strain of the flu. I think that was covered in Volume 2. Vaughnt would also visit his mother Angelina in the psychiatric ward. Their fates will all soon converge. Cordelia learns of a rogue colony that could hit both Earth and the Moon, thus affecting the colonies. She calculates a plan, but her superior tells her that they are anti-Federation forces, and to launch a full-scale defensive attack would be a bureaucratic nightmare. The commanding officer just tells her to give up. She decides to leak the data to the rebels. It appears that the rebels are trying to make a clone of Zex Marquise to unlock the Zero system. Jay Knoll hires Odin for a mission. He wants him to use his Proto-Zero, which Jay nicknames Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. He plans on using an image trace program to copy Odin's elite sniping skills. Wu Wang Long and the Long clan infiltrate a busted-up L5 colony. Wu Long is using the El Koenig and the Z-Long mobile suit. The Oz-00MS Tallgeese Z-Long was developed by Wu Wang Long, who becomes Master O. This is similar to the Tallgeese, but it uses regular titanium armor. It doesn't have a headpiece that covers its Leo-like head. This is used to protect an L5 colony. They are informed of the colony crash. There may be a catastrophe, so Wang Long gets his daughters out of there. And the El Koenig is Hu Dui and Mei Lan. Mei Lan is Wu Fei's wife. The Alliance is finally panicking and scrambling defenses against the rogue colony. They fire the barge cannon, but it only grazes the colony, causing it to break into 3 pieces. One chunk is heading towards the residential blocks in the L1 cluster. Another chunk is in the agricultural sector of the L2. And the third is heading towards Earth. Congratulations, Earth Alliance, you made things worse. Cordelia saw this coming. Jay Knoll and Sorcery launched their new mobile suits. Namia is piloted by Zex, Prometheus is piloted by Elv, and Scheherazade is piloted by Noin. They split off into 3. The situation has changed, so Odin's new target is debris. Jay allows the use of the Dreiswerg system. I guess at this point it only has 3 dwarves. Odin asks Jay what the Zero system is. Jay just turns off his radio and ignores him. Elv is struggling with the dual camera mobile suit. Scheherazade's armor is exposed in some places and has radiation cloth shielding. Noin is going to dismantle her chunk piece by piece. Elv tries to slow down his colony chunk, but Zex wants to accelerate it. He must go inside the colony. He finds something inside he could use as propellant. The barge plans on firing a second shot. There is a moment where 2 chunks will line up, and they plan on taking it out. Someone comes on the comms and contacts Cordelia. It is Trace and his specials. 30 minutes until the barge cannon fires. Prometheus fires its cross cannon at the colony chunk. It hits some bombs he planted that causes a chain reaction. He is successful. Noin is breaking apart the colony when she cuts a cube that explodes. Her frame is exposed and has to be careful. She is hit with a giant chunk of debris and is knocked out. Zex wonders if he should use the Zero system. It would be fed into the Proto-Zero first, but they don't know if they could trust Odin. Trace shows up and gives Zex a little push. He decides to activate the Zero system. Once activated, info is instantly absorbed into Odin's brain. The Zero system tells him to snipe the barge's cannon. Proto-Zero flies out in its flight form. He has 300 seconds to fire. Odin transforms into mobile suit mode and locks onto the cannon's central core with the dry Zwerg. This is to prevent hitting Noin. He fires the cannon. Although this is a Proto-7 dwarves, this functions more like a triple buster rifle essentially. He fires and hits the cannon. Afterwards, he safely saves Noin. Odin realizes that he is being used as a guinea pig by Jay. The Alliance and the barge team cover up the entire incident. They also want the Nemia back, but the Gundam engineers say, I don't know what you're talking about. What mobile suit? The team heads back to find that Odin bailed. He remains a wanderer. AC-187, April 18th. Junior is hanging out in the hospital when he sees Vaunt Kushinada. He gives condolences to his parents who died. Vaunt suggests that Junior join the Oz Specials, but he refuses. Odin meets with someone representing Dakim Barton on a shuttle suggesting that he'd take on a job to assassinate Vaunt, but he doesn't want to kill children. Then Dakim shows up himself. He says that he owns the medical center and knows now for a fact that Odin is actually Junior's dad. Odin and Oi were fake married for a while. He threatens the boy's life, and Odin finally accepts the assassination. AC-187, April 20th. Catherine and Sally Poe give Hundert a month to live after contracting the virus. They tell him about cloning and transferring one's consciousness, but he doesn't want it. You could do that in this universe? However, he does suggest that they make a clone of his son, Vaunt. They also have Junior's DNA for cloning as well. Sally says one day if I want a daughter, she will use her mother's DNA to make her. So Kathy is a clone of her grandmother. No one's having sex in After Colony. It's all cloning and killing, baby. MC0022, next winter. Kathy takes off the visor and says, what the hell, I'm a clone? Father Maxwell says it makes no difference to her identity, though he didn't even know about this. This colony drop was never in the original records, nor anything regarding the Zero system. And that will conclude Volume 11 of Frozen Teardrop. I don't know how I feel about having Noin, Zex, and Elev as the early Gundam pilots. Doesn't really make sense. But this ending seems to be leaning into altering the truth and reality. We also now know where Vaunt's clone came from. Also, I'd be so pissed if I was Kathy. Next time, we begin Volume 12. 2 more left, people. We dive into Part 2 of the Zex Files. We learn the truth of what the Zero system shows the user, and Duo's actions lead to a devastating result. But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember, just make a clone. You don't need to touch another human. Peace.